What are two types of commonly used fluid lines used in aircraft plumbing? Metal tubing, or flexible hose and fittings. How is metal tubing sized? Outside diameter, wall thickness, in sixteenths. Metal tubing OD outside diameter. What material should be selected for high-pressure rigid fluid lines? Annealed or corrosion-resistant steel. What percentage of flaring is allowed when bending metal tubing? 25% max. What precautions should be taken when routing fluid lines adjacent to electrical wiring? Route the fluid lines below the electrical wiring and maintain a clearance of at least 6 inches whenever possible. What is the purpose of the identification strip running along the length of a flexible hose? Lay line indicates if the hose has twisted during installation. There is no allowable twist. What are some synthetic materials commonly used to manufacture flexible hoses? BBNT, Buna N, butyl, ethylene, propylene, rubber, neoprene, Teflon, Buna N, butyl, ethylene, neoprene, Teflon, BBENT. How is flexible hose size? Inside diameter, in sixteenths. Flexible ID, inside diameter. How are standard AN type and AC type fluid line fittings identified? AN fittings are blue or black colored and have 37-degree flare cone. AC fittings are colored gray or yellow and have a 35-degree flare cone. AN fittings, blue or black, 37-degree. AC fittings, gray or yellow, 35 degrees. What is the purpose of using quick disconnect couplings in fluid lines? Disconnecting a line without a loss of fluid or air entering the system. How is metal tubing sized? Outside diameter. How is flexible hose sized? Inside diameter. How much slack must be left in a flexible hose during installation? 5 to 8% of the total hose length. How often should flexible hoses be clamped in place? Every 24 inches. Name considerations when installing flexible hose assemblies. Slack, flexing, twisting, bending, clearance, and clamps. What pressure is used to proof test a flexible hose assembly? One and a half times the recommended operating pressure of the hose. What are the three parts of a military standard tube fitting, MS? Body, sleeve, nut. What will be the result of over-tightening a flareless tube fitting? Compression sleeve's cutting edge will cut too deep into the tube, causing the tube to be weakened. What are two kinds of flares used in aircraft plumbing systems? A single flare and a double flare. What is the difference between automotive and aviation flares? Aviation flares should be 37 degrees. Automotives are 45. Aviation 37 degrees. What is the advantage of flexible Teflon hose over rubber hose? Teflon, better resistant to chemicals. Teflon, better resistant to chemicals, better at higher temperatures. What precaution should be taken when deburring and inspecting the flared end of a tube? Tubing is not cracked. The wall thickness is not reduced by the deburring process. What type of rubber is used in flexible lines that carry phosphate ester hydraulic fluid? Synthetic. What type of information is on a hose lay line? Type of hose, quarter and year of manufacture. What are the identification marks usually found on flexible rubber hoses? Lay line, hose size, manufacturer, date of manufacture, pressure, temperature limits. Lay line. Hose size. Manufacturer. Date of manufacture. Pressure. Temperature limits. Identification marks on flexible hoses: ley line, hose size, manufacturer, date of manufacture, pressure, temperature limits. What is the distance between hose identification markings? 9 inches.